Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of my collection tour, in which we will be looking at my Breyer Stablemates, my Peter Stones, my Hartlands, and my very small collection of artist resins. Remember that I'm probably never doing this again, so I hope you enjoy. Oh yeah, this is ECR Horses 1901, aka Erica. Probably just throw that in there and not assume you know. Alright, here we go. First is Lacritz, a glossy dappled gray on the Hanoverian mold. He was a 2022 Breyerfest single day ticket holders model. I stubbornly keep showing him as a Hanoverian. I mean, he has German colors in his braids, so I feel like he has to be something German. And I think because there's always so many horses that are being shown as Hanoverians, he doesn't tend to do super well for me, but I still think he's a very nice looking model. I apologize if the lighting is kind of funky on these guys. I'm doing my best, but they're so small that, I don't know, they may not look quite right. Anyway, this is Doppelbach. He is a matte shaded dapple bay on the Clydesdale Stallion mold. Also a 2022 Breyerfest single day ticket holder model. Here's a Bay Tobiano Pinto on the Standing Thoroughbred mold from the Horse Full Surprise Radiant Hills family set from 2023 Tractor Supply. Many of you probably know this guy. It's Mini Cornelius, a glossy candy corn coloring on the Mule mold from the 2023 Spooky Surprise Blind Bags Series 5 Web Special. Followed up by Mini Salem on the Icelandic horse mold. He is bay with purple interference and feline-inspired pinto markings. He's also glow-in-the-dark. He was from the 2024 Spooky Surprise Blind Bags Series 6. A Clot, a matte champagne Tobiano on the Missouri Foxtrotter mold from the 2023 Stablemates Collectors Club. Then it's Teamster, pearly gold champagne on the Irish Draft mold, a 2023 Breyerfest single day ticket holders model. Fandango, a glossy dappled black Sabino on the Twist mold, a 2023 Deluxe Collectors Club model. Then we have a horse that shows remarkably well for me, which is funny because he's really not anything that special. This is a matte liver chestnut pinto on the Frisian mold, part of the Red Stable playset, which has been a regular run from 2007 and is still available today. Not gonna lie, kind of forget I even had these guys. Here's Waiting for That Green Light, a glossy / pearly teal green filigree on the Warm Blood Jumper mold, part of the Still Be Jeweled 4-pack from 2024 Breyerfest. Here is a matte flea-bitten gray on the Loping Quarter Horse mold from Horse Crazy Surprise Series 2, which was a series of 2018 Walmart blind bags. I think this guy is cool, but I have definitely heard differing opinions on them. Here is my glossy wood grain keychain on the Andalusian mold, a 1999 Breyerfest special run, one of 1,500 made. Okay, then we have Rococo, a pearl and rose gold frame Overo on the Smart Chickolina mold, a 2021 Breyerfest event model with 5,500 made. You know, this guy is not fancy, and I know he's coming across as quite dark on film, but I really like him. He is a matte liver chestnut Tennessee walking horse on the Tennessee walking horse mold. He was also a regular run from 2015 through 2017. Okay, we are going to do a 2-for-1 because these guys are tiny. So on the left is the Flaxen Chestnut Blanket Appaloosa on the Cantering Full mold, part of the Mystery Full Surprise Graceful Grove set. Supposedly a 2025 Tractor Supply model, but I didn't think the Tractor Supply models had come out yet, so I don't know, but that's what I saw online. In any case, I have them, so that's all I know. And to be 100% honest, I don't actually remember where I got them. And on the right, we have the matte chestnut Tobiano Pinto on the Scrambling Full mold, part of the Horse Full Surprise Radiant Hills family, who was a 2023 Tractor Supply set. You may also notice the green item that is helping my first foal to stand. That is a stable snap. One of my fellow Region 10 people, Amanda Reed, makes them, and they are in fact available on a website, which I will link down below. They are perfect for keeping your stablemates upright, even the tippiest ones. Trust me. This is a pearly white unicorn on the G2 Morgan mold from the Mystery Unicorn Full Surprise Windswept set. A regular run from 2021 through the present. Legitimately forgot I had this guy. This is a matte Dark Bay Blanket Appaloosa on the Hanoverian mold, part of the Mystery Full Surprise Graceful Grove set, another one of the supposed 2025 Tractor Supply models. This guy I have certainly not forgotten about. Here is a matte chestnut Morgan Stallion on the G1 Morgan Stallion mold. He appears to be, as best I can tell, from 1976. I only wish that he had come with his original package, but alas, he was an early antique store find. Here's Sarge, a glossy color shift blue, green, and purple on the Albarozo mold, the only sort of Albarozo I own at this moment in time. He was a 2019 Breyer Fest store special with 2,000 made, and his claim to fame is the first time that I ever showed him, the judge had no idea what it was. I don't try to eavesdrop on the judges too much, but this was happening very close to where I was sitting, and they literally were like, I don't remember this model being a thing, and I think they had to look it up. But he did actually come away from a very large class with some kind of ribbon for collectability, so there is that. This is a matte black Tobiano on the American Saddlebred mold from the Parade of Breeds 2 set, part of the 2005 JCPenney Holiday Catalog. If you hear a cat meowing in the background, that's just Larry going crazy for mysterious reasons. Next up is Blue Jeans White Shirt, a glossy / pearly blue filigree on the Stock Horse Mare or Cassidy mold. She was also part of the Still Bejeweled 4-pack from 2024 Breyer Fest. Here is a matte flaxen chestnut on the Cantering Warm Blood mold, part of the Mystery Full Surprise Graceful Grove set, to round out our mysterious 2025 Tractor Supply model. Again, I just wish I could remember where I got this family from. Because also, I don't even really go to Tractor Supply, so mysteries abound. Fun fact, I originally thought this horse was a completely different horse than I think it actually is. There are two kind of similar ones on Identifier Breyer, so I'm going to give you the information for the one that I believe fits it best. Here's a pearly Palomino unicorn on the G2 Clydesdale mold from the Unicorn Crazy Surprise Series 4, a 2020 Walmart special. Next is this metallic splash Pinto with purple color shift on the Murado mold, a 2022 Merry and Bright blind bag web special. And here is a metallic Tobiano Pinto with green / purple color shift on the Irish Draft mold, also from the 2022 Merry and Bright blind bag web special. Hey! Don't eat the stable snack! What are you doing? He jumped up on the table. I had these stable snaps, 2 of them up here. He bit this one, and I yelled at him, so we flung it. Then he swatted the other one, which fell over there.
Nerf!
These aren't toys.
Nerf!
No.
Hey, bad boy. Be good down here.
There wasn't a horse up there. This is Guinevere, a glossy Palomino on the Morgan Mare mold. She was a 2019 Stablemates Collectors Club model. This is Bulletproof, a pearly brown Tobiano Pinto on the Clydesdale Stallion mold. From 2024's Best of Breyerfest Series 5, a limited edition set of 2,100 pieces. Another model I literally forgot about. Here's Dance the Night, a glossy gray extended blanket Appaloosa on the Fighting Stallion mold, also from 2024's Best of Breyerfest Series 5. I definitely did not forget about this guy though. Here is a metallic gold keychain on the Mule mold, another 1999 Breyerfest special run with 1,500 made. A glossy shaded bay on the Warm Blood mold from the 2002 Silver Cup series, first collection, a set for QVC. As much as I love my Spanish models on the traditional scale, I actually can't say the same for the Stablemate scale, but I do still have a few. Here is a matte gray on the Peruvian Paso mold from the Mystery Horse Surprise Series 2, regular run from 2019 through 2020. Flowers, a glossy chestnut on the Loping Quarter Horse mold, yet another from the 2024 Best of Breyerfest set. This little guy makes me happy because he actually placed at the open mini show that I attended last year very unexpectedly. He is a pearly lime green unicorn on the Playful Full mold from the Mystery Unicorn Full Surprise Windswept set, a regular run from 2021 through the present. Here's a glossy charcoal gray on the Fighting Stallion mold from the 2020 70th Anniversary Mystery Horse Surprise. I feel as though I have a ton of horses on this mold. Are you noticing this? Anyway, this is Topaz, a dark blue unicorn on the Cantering Warm Blood mold, a regular run from 2021 through 2024. Sorry, did I say Cantering Warm Blood mold? I just meant Warm Blood mold. Cantering Warm Blood mold is somewhat different. I also have a fair amount of these guys. This is the Appaloosa Sport Horse, an extended bay blanket Appaloosa on the Irish Draft mold from the 2023 Mystery Horse Surprise Series 5 through Tractor Supply. Horatio, a matte blue roan Sabino on the Horatio mold, the 2024 Deluxe Collectors Club model. Next up is Double Exposure, a glossy Grullo on the Warm Blood mold, part of a 2003 3,000 piece Just About Horses subscriber special. He came with a similarly colored Big Ben, who you would have seen in the traditional scale collection tour. This little guy has been described as an ornament, but there's technically no real way to hang him from the thing that you see hanging off of him. I don't know, I guess you could get creative if you really wanted to, but I actually prefer not using him as an ornament. The only reason that I am keeping this horse, at least to this point in time, is because I intend to have one of every mold. I really don't care for this one. Anyway, this is Enya, a matte blue roan blanket Appaloosa on the Lying Down Mare mold, a 2024 Premier Collection bonus model. This little foal is interesting. Now, he is a glossy pinto on the Trotting Full mold, but as best I can tell, and when I first got him, I also asked the viewers if anyone had any ideas, and the consensus seemed to be that he is a FA OF. His markings are similar to a few different models, at least the ones that I saw on the Identifier Breyer website, but not identical to any of them, and just the way that his markings are, both on this side and on the side that you cannot see, imply that he is an ecchi, or was an ecchi. I mean, I guess he still technically is, but was somebody's project. Nevertheless, I keep him with my stablemates. He's not really a show horse for me just because I don't know what the deal is with him with any confidence, but I still think he's really cool. That's all I can really tell you about this guy. A matte light blue Overo Pinto unicorn on the Magnolia mold from the Mystery Unicorn Full Surprise Windswept set, a regular run from 2021 through the present. New rules, a matte bay Sabino on the Irish Draft mold, the last horse from the 2024 Best of Breyerfest set. Suddenly I was a lilac sky, a glossy pearly violet filigree on the Prince Charming mold, part of the Still Bejeweled 4-pack from 2024 Breyerfest. I lied. Here's the actual last model from the 2024 Best of Breyerfest set, and it's Wannabe, a matte Wild Bay Overo on the Vallegro mold. This matte light Palomino on the Quarter Horse mold is from the 2023 Mystery Horse Surprise Series 5, sold through Tractor Supply. Sport Horse Bay Blanket, a matte extended Bay Blanket Appaloosa on the actual Cantering Warm Blood mold, a 2009 through 2011 regular run. Make It Pop Like Pink Champagne, a glossy pearly rose filigree on the Aquila mold. This is the final horse from the Still Bejeweled 4-pack from 2024 Breyerfest. And finally, our last stablemate. This is a pearly midnight blue on the G4 Arabian mold, and apparently this was the chase piece from the 2017 Mystery Horse Surprise blind bags. I had no idea when I bought them. We just got them because my husband likes blue horses, and yeah, that was pretty much the only reason why. Okay, just kidding. I was not done with stablemates. When I was looking for my Peter Stones for the next section of the video, I came across a couple more Breyer Stablemates, so that's what we're going to finish up with. So first is Finn, a matte extended Bay Blanket Appaloosa on the Mule mold, a 2018 Stablemates Collectors Club model. And then I think this is the last guy, but maybe not. It's Sport Horse, a matte flaxen chestnut on the G2 Morgan mold from the 2014 World Equestrian Games in Normandy with 750 made. So another fun fact, I was going to do my Peter Stones first, and then my Hartlands, and then my Artist Resins. However, I cannot find one of my Peter Stones, and I know he's here. It's just that, you know, the majority of my horses are wrapped up in many, many boxes, and I know he's one of the ones that is wrapped up because he went to Are You Kidding Me Live. But yeah, I did some poking around, and I just cannot locate him at this moment in time. So I figured I would just go ahead with my Heartlands first because I know where they all are, and then tomorrow when I have some time during the day I will dig around some more, hopefully locate the guy, and then we will do Peter Stones and finish the rest of this next time. Alright, so Heartlands, let's jump in. This is a 9-inch woodcut Cherry Mustang with a 10-night sticker. He was a regular run from 1964 through 1966. And one of the fun things about this model, and especially the fact that the sticker says, and sorry, I shouldn't have said 10-night sticker, because the fun story about this model is it says hand-rubbed wood carved finish. And the thing is that if you were to touch this model, he's made of some kind of rubbery substance. I really don't know what he is, but he is quite rubbery to the touch. So yeah, he's definitely not wood. He, I guess at best, somewhat looks like he is wood, but yeah, it's all a ruse. So that's this guy. Next up are 2 copies of Zest for Living, a dappled black 9-inch 5-gator mold. Now in 1994, this was made as a special run for a Debbie Buckler's model horse show. This model was limited to 200 pieces. I have numbers 055 and 138. It shows it underneath, but sorry, I'm not going to prove it to you. You're just going to have to take my word for it. The reason why I have 2 of these guys is because I originally had gotten the one on the right, and what I thought, you know, and with Heartlands, I always expect there to be some wear and tear. Like, it's actually amazing when I get one that is in really, really good condition. So I'm not usually too put off when one is not perfect. However, he came a little bit more marked up than I would have liked. It was one of those situations where what looked like it was just a glare on the photo of him actually turned out to be some kind of weird smudge. And the smudge does not come off. So somehow, because this is a fairly rare model, at the same time, or near the same time, I found yet another copy of him for sale, and that's the one on the left, and he is in much better condition. The one on the right also leans a lot, although it might not be noticeable the way I have them set up here. I don't really plan on getting rid of the lesser copy, so for now, they're both sticking around. This is the first Hartland I ever got, and the only reason I bought him is because he was cheap. He is a matte sorrel tiny mite Arabian. This is the old mold with separate ears and a curled tail, which was only sold in 1965. Here we have the 7-inch Tennessee Walker family with the Palomino Stallion, a bay mare, and a sorrel foal. They were a 1965 through 1967 regular run. The stallion is in questionable condition, again, that is actually to be expected. The foal is okay, and the mare is pristine. That is literally how I describe her condition. In fact, I believe she earned a Nan card for me at Are You Kidding Me Live for collectability. But don't quote me on that, I would have to go check. I know that she at least placed, and highly at that. This is Scammer, a dappled gray 9-inch thoroughbred, a 1990 special run for Black Horse Ranch with 256 pieces made. And here is the current star of my collection. This is a metallic gold 9-inch 5-gator who was a 1990 show special with about 50 created in total. However, only 12 had black hooves like this guy. Most of the horses had pink. And because he is so rare, he took Reserve Champion for collectability for the whole Hartland and other brand division at Are You Kidding Me Live. So yeah, another Nan card. I like the coloring on this model a lot. This is a pearly blue roan on the 9-inch 5-gator mold, a 1988 only special run. Next up, a matte golden palomino on the 9-inch polo pony mold, a 1989 special run with 100 made. These are the 5-inch buckskin quarter horse mare and foal. Their socks and shading hint that they are from the 1963 to 1969 regular run, as opposed to a later 1970s version. And because these are both in decent condition and they are quite old, they used to be my collectability stars before I started getting some of the other rarer Hartlands. So I don't know how much more I'm going to be taking them out, probably not very because they've already gotten their ribbons, but they are still a welcome addition to the herd. This is a matte bright chestnut 9-inch polo pony, a 1989 special run of 100 pieces, some of which were sold by Your Horse Source in 1990. I figured I'd change it up and show the last two polo ponies facing the other direction. This is Chart the Course, a Bay Appaloosa on the 9-inch polo pony mold. He was the first model of the Hartland Collectors Club in 2001, number 054 of a 270-piece run. Here's a black Appaloosa on the 9-inch polo pony mold, and he has the same shade of pale gold leg wraps as Chart the Course, who you just saw. I gave the full story behind this guy in my Breyerfest haul video, so if you didn't watch that, I recommend going back and checking it out. So I'm not going to go through the full story of this model again, although it's kind of funny, but essentially he was from a 75-piece run, which started in 2001, but ran to 2005. And yes, it was only 75 pieces. This is the chestnut on the 9-inch Arabian Stallion mold, a regular run from 1988 through 1990. However, the style of picture frame box he comes in was only used through 1989, thus indicating that he was from the earlier half of that run. It's not super rare to find models in this picture frame style of box. They're certainly out there, but I just think it's really cool, even if it's not as big of a contender in collectability as you might think. And no, this package has never been opened, and I don't plan on ever opening it. And this is my final Hartland. This is an Orange Bay 11-inch 5-gator. If you can picture in your head what all the 9-inch 5-gator molds look like, it was quite a bit different than this guy. He's very chunky compared to the smaller molds. There is also a lot of backstory to this one, so I'm not going to get into the whole thing. He was actually made by Durant Plastics, although he is similar to the one that was produced in 1968 by Hartland Plastics. Really, the only difference is the tidiness of the masking between the orange and black parts. I want to say this packaging is a little bit more rare than the one that you just saw, probably because it is that little bit older. This package has never been fully opened. The plastic wrap on the right side of the box does have a tear in it, but it very obviously has never been fully opened. Once again, this is a package that is never going to be fully opened. He also did well for me collectability-wise at Are You Kidding Me Live, and so I was quite happy with that. Okay, we're back, and today we are going to finish up with the Peter Stones and everyone else. We'll begin with the chips. This guy is a one-of-a-kind glossy leopard Appaloosa on the Andalusian mold. He was part of the Pepper series in 2024, in which I believe it was 4 or 5 different molds were painted as glossy leopard Appaloosas, and if you purchased one of the 5, you didn't know which mold you were going to get. I believe they did a few other Appaloosa colorways as well. He was painted by Dawn Quick and Julie Kime, and was one of the few non-Hartland molds that I brought, or models rather, that I brought to Are You Kidding Me Live that did well and got a Nan card. This guy is weird. I won him in a raffle at one of my, was it my first show? I don't know if it was my first show or my second show, but I remember being like, yay, a Peter Stone. He's interesting. So this is a Metal Pebbles Warm Blood in the chip scale. Anyway, he was a 2005 Tractor Supply special run. Also, he is extremely heavy for his size. And this is the last tiny guy. This is Mihetsika Izani, a matte rearing horse painted to look like a ringtail lemur. He was a limited edition of 3, part of Stone's Menagerie series, and was painted by Jess Hamill. Okay, moving on to the traditional scale. Here is Firefly, a matte chestnut Appaloosa on the Weanling mold. She was part of a 2002 signature series. In fact, she has, hopefully that's in focus, she has a sticker of the signature of the artist, Lori Jo Jensen, on her stomach. She theoretically came with a mare mold, but I got this secondhand at a store that basically just had like a shelving unit of different Peter Stones, so maybe the mare was there, I don't know. And apparently 250 sets were made in matte, and 250 sets were made in glossy. Here is Impressment, a matte Dun/Grella on the Ideal Stock Horse, aka Ish mold. He was from the 2000 Based on a Real Horse series. This is a matte dappled gray on the Sport Horse mold, a regular run from 1997 through 1998. I really like this mold, I think it's unique. I don't think they use it a lot anymore. And this was actually another Peter Stone I got through a raffle win at another one of my first few shows. This horse is Aquarian Supremacy, a matte bay on the original Morgan mold, a 1999 State Line Tack special run of 500 pieces. Some had masked rear socks, but this one, as you may be able to see, does not. And I should add that this guy was a pretty cool antique store find. Okay, this is the horse that I have beef with. He is the reason why I could not do the Peter Stones during my last filming, and when I took the time to go through all of my wrapped horses this evening, I wish I was kidding when I tell you that he was the very last horse I unwrapped. I mean, you can't make this up. Anyway, this is Lapis Lazuli, a glossy blue decorator on the Ish mold. He appeared in the first half of 2000 as part of the Precious Stones series, designed by Lori Jo Jensen. And here is my final Peter Stone. He was a Design-A-Horse model. In fact, he was a 2014 only customized Tennessee walking horse mold with a custom forelock, resculpted mane, added nose wrinkles, a wispy tail, and carved ears. 25 pieces of that mold were made, but because he was a designer horse, he was further customized by whoever originally bought him. They chose to give him a seal bay coat, which was a color that was only available from 2013 through 2014, and standard Appaloosa pattern, as well as striped hooves with shoes. Before we get to my few artist resins, here are a couple of WIAs. This is Vincenzo, a blue clareware that was a 2002 special run of 1,000 pieces. I also have Aaron, a glossy buckskin, who is part of the 160-piece Triple Mountain exclusive. I don't know exactly where he is right now. I mean, he's probably just upstairs, but I don't feel like going to retrieve him. I did a whole thing on him in my Breyerfest haul video, so if you are interested in him, again, I recommend checking that video out. And on to the artist resins. Here is Mabel, a Color Shift Blue Purple 3D printed resin by Kayla Lovejoy of Kayla Lovejoy Equine Art. He is one of 6. Then we have Torme, a Color Gradient Red Yellow, also a 3D printed resin by Kayla Lovejoy. Next up, Cisco. He was produced in May 2022 as part of Maggie Bennett's monthly micro mini-series, sculpted after a 23-year-old fjord, and has been painted to reflect that, although I do not know by whom. And my final tiny guy, this is Polywog, a matte chestnut pinto, 3D printed in 2020 as a micro version of Toadstool, originally sculpted by Kylie Parks, and there were about 575 made. Again, I am unfortunately not sure who painted this one. Eohippus, originally sculpted by Kitty Cantrell, but painted by Lauren of Desert Sun Studios. He is a 1/9 or traditional scale. He's an Eohippus, they were just that small. But I did think it was funny when I put him on the table at Are You Kidding Me Live, because he's next to all these much bigger models, and I'm like, please, I hope they don't think that I put him in the wrong glass. But apparently they did not think that, and he nanned. Or actually, you know what, I don't know that he nanned. He might have come in 3rd, but whatever, he got a ribbon, and on that day, that felt like getting a nan card. And now for my final resin. This is going to take me a moment to set up. This is not the most elegant presentation for this guy. He deserves so much better than a couple of dirty boxes with a puppy pee pad on it. But this is Nightmare, sculpted by Kitty Cantrell, and painted a matte color shifty purple on a coral stand. Again, I wish I knew more details about him, but he is just absolutely super cool, and I feel bad that he has actually been wrapped up since Are You Kidding Me Live. And the sad part is, although we went through all the trouble of very carefully wrapping him up, we didn't even end up bringing him because, so he comes off of the stand, and as you can imagine, wrapping him up was a very painstaking task with all his tails and legs and wings and everything. And so he ended up going in this very large tote bag, just him and his stand and all of the padding and wrapping. And we at first just did not have room for him. And then we did, and then by that point I was just like, no, just let's leave him at home, who cares? And now I'm kind of curious how he would have done at that show. So even though I've owned him for probably like a year, I haven't actually shown him yet. That could be a lie. It feels like it's been a year, but who knows? In any case, I know a few people watching this may be attending the New England Novice Extravaganza that's coming up in a few weeks, so if you are going to be at that, Nightmare will also be appearing, so come and say hi. As much as I love my micro minis because they are just fun and tiny and portable and adorable, this guy is just super cool. And that officially brings me to the end of this collection tour. I am sure there are some models that I forgot. You know, I actually didn't drag out my wild animal molds, or did I actually? No, I did. Never mind. I can't think of any molds or models off the top of my head that I did not show you, but I guarantee there was at least one. And as I said in the beginning, I hope that you have enjoyed this series because this was so much work and so much time, and I really don't think I'm going to do this again. I think it is much easier to just keep you guys updated with the occasional haul video. You'll just have to guess when somebody leaves my collection, because hint, I do actually plan on getting rid of a few of my Peter Stones in particular. Not the designer horse, but a few of the others, and they may also be for sale as early as at the New England Novice Extravaganza. We shall see. A little bit is dependent upon if they place or not. You know, that's how I roll around here. We're not going to do any citrus activities today, so if you are still here, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave a comment or click the like button, and I will see you next time.